So Catherine Hellerstein, whom you probably interviewed or know about, was a very accomplished translator of Yiddish, came to Wellesley. She's a Wellesley alum. And we hired her. We in the English department hired her, and I was untenured at the time, so I wasn't a mover and shaker. But I loved the idea of having her come, and I had the Yiddish I'd learned at Chicago, and then I had read, occasionally. I was more familiar with the Hebrew alphabet because I was in services sometimes, and I don't know whether I was reading anything, but I could read what she proposed that we read together. She and a woman named Eleanor Grummett and I read a story by Yudhiud Singer called A Fremde, a Stranger. And we read that together, and I thought that was great to read it together, and I also thought I could translate this, and I did. In fact, that's the first published translation I did. Why I wanted to translate it? Because translation is, for me, the most central way of knowing a text. When I was an early music singer in New York, I was in groups where a lot of texts had to be translated, and I volunteered usually to translate them. And sometimes they're pretty dopey, those texts, and they have a lot of cliches in them, and sometimes they're old, and you have to look up a lot of words in multi-volume dictionaries of Middle French or whatever it is. But I always volunteered to do that because I love doing it. It's a mode of knowing, and it's how I came to read Rosenzweig. I don't want to pretend that I didn't think, I could translate this story and then I could publish it, because that would have been nice for me. But I love doing the translating, so I did. Then it turned out somebody translated it before, and then I had to invent an argument explaining why my translation was different, and it was a good enough argument to get it published. So that was one stage, and working with Catherine was great. She wasn't exactly my teacher, but she wasn't exactly not my teacher either.